Center of gravity adjustments with the driver can significantly change distance. So that was 320 yards. I'm going to play around with some weights in the Callaway Elyte Triple Diamond. I'm going to move the heavyweight forward. I'm going to move the heavyweight back. And I'm going to play with a couple extra weights here that are a little bit lighter. And I'm going to put them more in the middle. And we're going to find out just how much further or how much shorter the ball goes when we change the center of gravity. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Thomas Campbell, teaching pro, club fitter, and playing professional. And I am going to tell you now, I'm playing the Callaway Elyte Triple Diamond driver in my bag in 2025. I love it. I also love the adjustments that we can do with these little screws that weigh different weights. Changing the center of gravity can really significantly change distance and spin and ball speed. What we're going to find out in this video is by just flip-flopping the 14-gram weight with the 2-gram weight, changing it from forward to back and playing them differently, we're talking about a 400 RPM difference in spin. For me, when I swing at 117 miles an hour, that's over 10 yards. And I want to be hitting one shot less into the green, one club less into the green, sorry. And by hitting the ball further, I'm going to do that. However, if we flip-flop the weight and put the heavyweight in the back and the lightweight in the front, I may hit more fairways. So we have to weigh the pros and cons when we're talking about center of gravity adjustments. The other thing with these drivers is too, you can also get sent different weights. So in this case, what I have is I have a 9-gram and a 4-gram weight, and I'm also going to play around with them so the weight's a little bit more centered in the head, and just find out exactly where the distance and the spin falls. I'm going to get right after it. I'm going to hit 30 drivers with my gamer. This is a 9-degree head, and I always play the setting at S and D. I like to play a little draw, so I like to play it a little more upright. Please watch this video if you want to find out just how center of gravity can change distance with your driver. Let's get started with this driver session. I'm really excited to find out the differences between these 3 adjustable positions based on center of gravity by moving around these weights. Okay, so first off, I'm going to start off with the 14-gram weight in the back and the 2-gram weight up forward. This is how the driver would come if it's sitting in the rack. It's the more, call it more forgiving model. Generally, we might see a little bit more spin than the weight switch around where the 14-gram weight would be forward. But let's find out. I'm going to hit about 10 shots with each weight setting. I absolutely smoked that one to start with. So that was 320 yards, but notice the spin, 2689. That's a little higher than I like. So that one will be interesting because I left the face just ever so slightly open. And usually what happens when you do that, the spin tends to go up a little bit. And it did. You can see 28.99. That's, once again, a little on the high side that I would like. That one was hit good. Carry was definitely up over 300 on that one. Ball was drawing, so the spin might drop a little bit on us. Got 25.35. So we've seen 25.35, and then we saw a little higher, 2800-ish, when I left the face a little open, and then back down about 2500 on those first 3 swings. I'm gonna hit 7 more. I'm gonna get 10 shots with each one, so we've got a good average to look at, and then we'll compare the numbers. Okay, so 10 swings with the heavyweight backwards at 9 degrees of loft, I will say it was very consistent. What I mean by that, I believe 2400 something to 2900 something. That was the range for all of those shots. If you look at total spin, 2600, 2800, 2500, 2700, 2500, 2400, 2500, 2700, 2900, 2900. So that's the forgiveness that they talk about, is when maybe you don't quite catch it quite in the middle, leave the face a little open, or catch maybe a little high toe or low heel, it still does okay. Now, I don't like the fact that I'm averaging 2700 spin with the driver, so that's why I'm going to have to kind of play around with these weights. I don't typically have this set up in my driver. I just wanted to show you what happens when we have the setting with the 14 gram weight back and the 2 gram weight forward. I've picked up a little bit of club speed here in the last couple of months. So when I'm swinging now 116, 117 miles an hour, I'm going to get a little more spin. So I'm going to need to flip-flop those weights around. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to flip-flop them. We're going to put the 14 gram weight forward, and we're going to put the 2 gram weight backwards. Okay, so the weight has been flip-flopped. I have 14 grams forward, 2 grams in the back. I noticed there I was swinging about 116 to 117 miles an hour. I'm going to do my best. Obviously, that's my full swing, 100% swing right now, to try and match that on these next 10 shots in these positions. That looks like a lower bull flight already. 117 mile an hour club speed. And yeah, that carry distance was big time up. Look at that bull speed, 171. I haven't seen that in a long time. And what do you know? 2239 on the spin. So just a little under 500 RPMs less spin gets that ball to go significantly further. I don't know if I can hit a better shot than that last one. Should really quit while I'm ahead. 0.0 on the club path. It's going to be hard to beat, but let's see if I can do it. A little more curve to the right on that one. But based on the carry distance, I think that spin rate stayed down compared to 2900 when I left the face open before. Yeah, so it was 2400 spin with the face, the path a tiny little bit left and the face a little bit open. Still significant distance though. That one was hit good. Yeah, love when I see that carry distance up over 310. All right, 314 going 338. That might have bettered that first shot that I hit. 171 ball speed again. So what you'll notice here is I'm actually getting a little more ball speed with the heavyweight forward here. So if you can control the face, I would say, if I don't quite catch it in the middle, it might go a little more offline. But you control that face. It can be beneficial if you're a high swing speed golfer to move that weight forward to increase ball speed and lower spin. Let's hit a few more 10 shots and we'll look at the numbers. So here's the numbers with the weight, 14 grams forward, 2 grams back. I will say I hit 3 shots there. One was a little low on the face. One I left the face just a tiny little bit open. And I think there was one that was just maybe slightly off the heel. Those 3 swings were like the 2500 RPM shots. But you'll notice that that's still lower than what my average was with the 14 gram weight in the back. So you can see there was one at 2439, one at 2509, and one at 2534. Those I would kind of consider my miss hits. But you can see a lot at 2200, 2200, 2300, 2200, 2200, 2300, 2100. So we're seeing about a 400 RPM difference in spin. And if you want to know what 400 RPMs in spin means with regards to distance, just going to check out the difference in carry and total. On average, 300 going 320 with 2700 spin. On average, 311 going 333 with 2,300 spin. I mean, that's 13 yards. I'll take hitting one less club into the green any day if I can control the club face. And finally, what I'm going to do here, in Callaway, they've sent some different weights. They've talked about how the Elyte Triple Diamond actually kind of works pretty well with the weights being a little bit more centered. So what I mean by that is they have a 9 gram and a 4 gram weight instead of it maybe two extremes. They're going to be a little, the weights are obviously not going to be quite as extreme apart. So I'm going to finish off with those settings there, and I'm really intrigued to see if the spin rate kind of falls right in the middle between these other two. So here's the final setting. We've got the 9 gram weight forward, and I have the 4 gram weight in the back. Technically, this driver head's going to be 1 gram lighter than before, but actually it's going to be 3 grams lighter than before because I had a 14 and a 2. Now I've got a 9 and a 4. But let's just see. I'm curious actually to see if 3 grams makes a difference, and maybe I can get a little more club speed possibly. Or just see if the numbers improve or will get worse. And that's just funny. It kind of fell right in the middle, 2,435 on the spin. So that's physics for you, people. You may think this stuff's kind of gimmicky at times, but if we're changing the weight around on a driver, it's going to make a difference. If you change the loft on a driver, it's going to make a difference, and that's why it's important to get club fit. Let's hit 9 more shots, and then we'll look at the averages and see if it does actually fall in the middle. So those first 3 swings, they were kind of they were around about 23 to 2,400 on the spin. So it is definitely kind of falling in between there. I noticed not that shot, but the one before, I actually cracked 118 on the club speed. So I'm very excited about, because as you've probably followed some of my club speed training stuff, I would love to get to 120. So with the 9 gram weight forward and 4 gram weight back, so weight a little bit more centered in the club face, you can see it did split the difference. It was about 90 RPMs more spin than having 14 grams weight and back and 2 grams forward. I could also hit for sure, I could flip-flop at least 2 weights as well, and what we'll probably notice is maybe 100 RPMs more spin, but I don't think I need to. I think 30 drives is enough here just to show you how the importance and placement and center of gravity with drivers influences spin. And it influences distance, and yeah, it's crazy. You can definitely notice I was getting the fastest ball speed when the 14 gram weight was forward. Yeah, I mean, this is about as good as you're gonna get numbers wise for testing when you are comparing changing the center of gravity of weight up on the driver heads. And I'm going to show you just exactly why. So if we come up here and we look at club data, so where it says face impact, that's a little skewed. I actually didn't hit it as far off the toe. It's just stretched for this screen, and I'll show you a better picture so you can see actually it was much closer to the middle of the face. But if we take a look at this, efficiency, 145 with each one. Dynamic loft, we're talking the exact same, so right around about 21 degrees. Dynamic lie, right around 5 degrees. Face angle, right around about 0.8 degrees closed. Path, right around about 0.3 degrees to the left. And you can see that the averages there, they're almost the exact same there. And then attack angle was 5 point something when it comes to attack angle. So we can for sure conclude that when we move the heavy weight forward, center of gravity gets moved forward in the driver, you are going to get lower spin, you're probably going to get more ball speed, And if you have speed, you're probably going to get more distance. If you move the heavy weight back, you're probably going to get a little bit more spin. Ball might fly a little higher, may not quite get as much ball speed, but you may get better control. Remember, spin is forgiveness and it's also control as well. Too much spin obviously sacrifices distance, but we're talking these are great numbers regardless. 2200, 2300, 2400, whatever to 2700, still just fine. I was still hitting the ball in play, which is amazing. And then if we change up the weights a little bit, you'll probably see it will kind of fall in between. So remember, this is only adjusting center of gravity. I didn't touch loft. When I play my driver, I play it in the SD setting. I hate missing right, so I play it a little bit more upright. You can see that my dynamic lie was right around about 5 degrees upright. Hate missing right. Like to play just a tiny little draw. But this is it. This is what you're going to get if you change the weight around with your driver. Now, if you don't have maybe the same kind of club speed that I've got, you might not see these bigger changes. And you also might need more spin. But in this instance, when I'm swinging 117 miles an hour, I like the heavyweight forward because it was giving me 10 yards more distance. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned for the next video.